Alright, so today I will be making a mask to kind of go with a shirt that I finished yesterday. Now, the shirt is a knit, so I'm not going to be using the same fabric, but I wanted to kind of play with some of the elements. The fabric for the shirt has holographic stars and moons on it, so I wanted to play with the silver elements to make this mask. So I have a black woven fabric. I have this silver glittery fringe. I have this trim with gemstones on it. A mask pattern that I ended up really liking, elastic, and buttons, because I want to be able to take the fringe off to wash the mask in kind of a heavy-duty sort of way. So I will be adding buttons in a couple places so I can do that. Of course, the first thing to do in making a mask is just to lay the pattern piece on your fabric. I have it folded so that I'll get all 4 layers that I need at once, and just pin it down and cut it out. Okay, so I have about 40 minutes until my class starts today, virtually of course, and I was originally going to hand sew this entire project, just to say that I had, and do it during class, but then I decided that no thank you, and my mom's sewing machine is already nice and set up, so I might as well just machine sew the base parts and then have fun hand sewing all of the embellishments during my class. Because I like to have my hands busy doing something, but I felt like hand sewing the entire mask probably would have distracted me more than being like a focus tool. So I've decided just to kind of quickly run the mask pieces and the elastic and everything through the old Kenmore, and then after that, when I sit down to class, I will be able to hand do the fringe and the buttons and the whatever else I decide to put on it. So that's what I'm up to now. I live in a household with 3 long-haired cats, so this fabric is somewhere beyond covered in cat hair and might be closer to drowning in cat hair, or will smother the wearer in cat hair. So basically, masks is one of the reasons that we now have lint brushes in both of our cars, because we have to defluff our masks before putting them on, or else we risk suffocation in the local Hanfords. So that's just the sign of the times now, isn't it? Okay, so that's the start of the mask. It's actually pretty well fitting for me, because I think I cut my pattern down a little bit smaller than most of them, so honestly I probably wear like a young kid's mask. I didn't put wire in this one, but I did put some top stitching just right over the nose, and that actually seems to be holding it down pretty well and covering it close to my eyes. And yeah, this one looks pretty good and it fits actually really well, so this will be mine and no one else may have it. It is still full of cat hair, and I don't have super thin black elastic, so, but here it is. I had to tack this side down a little bit. I have to trim off all my threads and remember which is the top side and which is the bottom. I was covering my mouth. And then I will be able to get started on the embellishments and everything, I guess, during class. I will be wearing my witch hat to class, and I will not be taking questions about it, because that's just what going to college online right now is like. Yeah, so happy Halloween to my professor. I will not be taking questions about it. Okay, so what I have now, after having worked on it for a little while, is black mask. I put these little gemstones on each side, the top there. I am making loops on the back of the trim as kind of a bar for a hook and eye, and then on this side where you could see it in dead center, I put a gem over the front. This one I'm probably just going to keep as the thread, because it'll be kind of, you know, off to the sides and less noticeable, I guess. Of course, I can't find my hooks and eyes at the moment, but for the meantime I've kind of marked out where I need each one to sit, so I'm going to be able to, wow, what are you doing? So I'll kind of be able to put all of the bars in the right spot, even if I don't know where the hooks are yet. All of my buttons were way too big for what I was thinking of doing, so I decided it would just be better to do something a little bit more hidden. But this is what it looks like at the moment. I feel like it's kind of flapper-esque, also a bit Orville Peck, and I think it's quite fun. I've just found my hooks and eyes, thinking that I had a lot of black hooks left. I have 2 hooks in total. Oh, good. I'll be looking for some sacrificial projects now. Probably some old bras will have some. This is fine. New plan is to bend my own hook and eyes. I have these jewelry findings that are kind of, I think they're already the correct gauge or a similar gauge wire to an existing hook and eye, and I can use it for this little part, and then it kind of bends, to my knowledge, it kind of goes up around and then does the big loop and then comes up and ends in the middle there. So really I'm just going to try to bend my own, because what else is there to do on a Friday? This is basically the longest clip ever of a poor angle of someone working with wire to do something very, very disinteresting. During this time I was watching a crochet video, and then I think I was watching Angela Clayton as well, because those are just the fascinating things in my life. But basically, I spent all of this time working to make my own hook closure because I didn't have any. And then I did all of this, and then afterwards I realized I really needed a second set of pliers, which of course I have. I just chose at first to kind of muscle it out entirely with my fingers and one pair of round needle nose pliers or whatever they're called. So my foresight was not really on par in this time frame, but what can you do? Because it did end up kind of working out, other than the little mishap, which I suppose you will see in just a couple seconds. So I pretty successfully made my own hook closure, and then I dropped it on the floor. Now that I'm looking, I think I also dropped the other two, so now I've gone from 3, one homemade, to 0 hooks. So that's bad. Okay, so now we have all 3 of these. So this is one I made, obviously. And then here are my other 2 mismatched ones. So I guess that's what I have to work with this evening. Though I never finished recording, the last thing I had to do was sew on the hooks and eyes, and then it was ready to wear out on the town. Of course, the first place I went was the local Trader Joe's, and then to an old train station in my town to take pictures, as a witch. And then I wore it voting on Tuesday, and the poll worker complimented it. So that is all, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.